What's up, boys? It's me. It's T, and today I'm talking about the first patch note which Crimson Desert released, patch 1.00.03, which is the first major patch note which they've released on the game. Excellent. There's been a lot of things that people have been talking about, so let's quickly just get into it and see what they've done within the game. So they've started by talking about Quest, which is great. So apparently there was an issue with chapter 2, the Quest Reunion, where the cat would sometimes stop leading the way. Probably could get annoying. I didn't experience that. Sorry. So hopefully that's fixed the issue for some players. There was another thing in terms of improving the notification to appear where the crime status prohibits the quest from being progressed. Again, I didn't experience that. For anybody who did, that's been fixed. So quest, in terms of some things around the quest, have been improved, which is great. I think one of the main things that people are trying to get is the inventory space. So let's just see if they've added that. So contents, they've added an Abyss Nexus to the continent Pywell to improve fast travel teleportation. Haven't been there yet. Hopefully I get there and there's an Abyss Nexus ready available for me, so that helps it. Added the private storage that can be used to store items from your inventory. Thank you. That, I think, has answered most of the problems. I think 99% of players, that's answered everything. If you just released a patch note and you said, we've added a storage space, I think majority of people would just be like, yeah, that's what we wanted. So yeah, they've added this private storage space. The private storage is located initially in temporary lodges in Hernard at the Howling Hill camp. You know where that camp is. That's where most of us have been. Literally, it should be there within your logins, within your lodging. Hopefully it will be a chest. I didn't say how many spaces it has, but I'm presuming it would have enough space. This game has definitely taught me how to not hoard. I've had to delete a lot of the items I've had, stuff that I don't use, only to make sure that I'm carrying what's essential. So yeah, it taught me that, because most games I'm just carrying everything. But yeah, most of the players, the majority of the players, this is what we wanted. We wanted a inventory space to handle everything that we were carrying. So they've added that within your camp base, which is great. Reduces the time required to acquire knowledge. That was when you would have to read items or read certain things. They've reduced that time whenever you're looking at a bounty or whenever you're looking at a recipe. They've reduced the time on that. Great. Another great thing they've added. Change the skill observation to only require once to learn before using it. So I know there was times where, or the standard is basically you would have to see a skill twice before you could actually use it. Now it's probably once. From what it said, it's changed it to require. Yeah, it just said it required once. That's great, because I know within your skill tree, there are skills that you can either observe or you can get through using their Abyss artifacts, or using one of your Abyss artifacts. So just to observe it once instead of twice is pretty good. Adjust when Force Palm is learned and allow players to use it much earlier in the game. It was pretty early already, wasn't it, when you just had to do your first puzzle? But yeah, now you're all using much earlier, so that's great. Reduces the number of hits required to log trees. That wasn't really a big issue to me. I think it was only 3 hits or 2 hits, and then you're able to log the tree down, and then obviously 1 or 2 hits and you're able to get to the log. So reducing that it's an improvement. I think some people would appreciate that, but logging the trees wasn't really that much of an issue to me. Changing logging so that the trees are chopped with basic swings instead of aiming first. That's cool. That just makes it quicker, so that's okay. Decreases the QTE difficulty in arm wrestling minigame when pinned by an opponent. I didn't find the arm wrestling minigame that difficult. I found it annoying because it was like tapping it thing, but yeah, it wasn't that difficult. But now it's decreased the QTE difficulty, so that's great for you. Improves the visibility of items that can provide knowledge by adding icons and tooltips to show the total number of knowledge acquired. That's a really good one. I think for them to know, you can now see how much knowledge you've acquired, because it shows the numbers. That's a really good one. And the visibility of the items, that's great. I think doing that helps us to definitely finish the collection tabs, or whatever you're trying to, your collections tabs within the knowledge tab that you're trying to get to. I think there's 20 different sections, and you can try and get hundreds of different things. To then reduce the time on that is a great thing for them. Change the all rain and collectibles to discover automatically when you're within a certain proximity. So regular ores are now 8 meters and tools are 2 meters. Not that important, but yeah, I didn't really care about that. moving on in terms of content that they've done, added an effect to destroying facilities at enemy stronghold. The effect of destroying facilities at the enemy stronghold. Oh, so whenever you would go into like different strongholds and you would have to kill a certain amount of people, this is now like helped in terms of what you need to do. I found that kind of entertaining. I didn't think they should change anything, but apparently if you wound an enemy, no longer wounded enemies no longer return to the fight. Okay. When you destroy their facilities, enemies max health reduced by 10%, and when you destroy their barracks, enemies attacks reduced by 5%. So that's great. Whenever you were trying to get into their strongholds and you had to face like hundreds of them, now by destroying certain like locations within the base, you can reduce their attacks as well as their HP. Improves the availability of certain puzzles for clarity. Man, those puzzles, I don't think people care about the clarity. I think they just want hints. If you could just provide certain hints. I get it, it's a puzzle. You're supposed to know, like, based on what you need to do, an environment, what you need to do. But there's some puzzles that, damn, I haven't experienced any so far that were like, I could not get, and I was like, I need to check a YouTube guide. But they were kind of long, like figuring out what they need to do. Some of them were kind of long. But yeah, they've improved the visibility of certain puzzles for clarity. Okay, let's do that. Hopefully that works for some people. Increases the health restored by ingredients and food items added to the new food at the Hernan's Tavern, which is great, and increases the lantern's range for detecting clues. Another good one as well. I think when we were going around and you were trying to get certain areas where it would light up, and you need your lantern to like focus onto that area, and then you'd have to wear that helmet in order for you to replay basically what's happening in that area. Now they've increased the lantern's range. That's okay. Not that much difference within the content that was important. Changes certain items in the Witcher store to reset daily. Okay. Changes the properties of the bismuth ore and how to gather it. Again, okay. But yeah, that's most of it for content. Not really that great. Oh, this is a big one. Lower the difficulty of the marksman and archery contest minigame. That's a big one. I remember doing those mini games, especially the archery one. The marksman was difficult. Sometimes you would aim at a target which you were supposed to, and before you even aimed, the NPC just popped that off. You'd be like, what? you literally turn and it just popped off. So you're like, damn it. So yeah, I to reduce the difficulty of that, that's great, because I haven't even beat like the boss on that. I've got the I know you can get trophies for being those mini games. So yeah, hopefully I can be able to like go back to that and do that. So yeah, reduce the difficulties on those, and fix an issue where stamina was not consumed after certain quests. So that's a really good one. So far, I think the major one is just the inventory, the content being added, you being able to have your own inventory space. That's the major one. So yeah, that's a big one for everybody. In terms of controls, they've now improved the controls. Really big one for a lot of people. People are kind of finding it kind of annoying with the UI and how I think was going. They've now improved the controls in certain areas, improved the responsive speed to interact within the UI. That's great. Improved the responsive of the jump input. I experienced that. I thought the jumping was kind of annoying, especially within the abyss when you were jumping. I sometimes thought I was going to fall down after a jump, but now they've improved that. So hopefully that is better for a lot of people. This is under general, by the way. I think there's a separate one for keyboard and mouse that they've shown here. For keyboard and mouse, they've now added some shortcuts to open certain menus, which I thought would have been done on keyboard and mouse. I've been playing on the controller so far, so I haven't really used keyboard and mouse. But yeah, inventories I, skills K, journals J, and map is M, obviously. So the keyboard and mouse have got some improvements there. Yeah, that's it for mostly of the controls. Not really that big of a deal in terms of anything other than that. Boss fights and combat, the first major one, reduce the health and attack of specific enemies and bosses. I just finished facing that beast that you had to face in the castle. I wish this patch came out yesterday. That fight was annoying as hell, man. Because that enemy, that boss, they would lock onto you from like, you would be like 50 feet away and he would still jump and like smash into you. So hopefully like that's improve for certain people. Hopefully when you get to that point, you don't have to face what I had faced. But yeah, reduces the health and attack of specific enemies and bosses. Maybe that's not even being included. But yeah, reduces the stamina consumption for blocking attacks, really good one, and lowers the difficulty of ambush encounters triggering when heading towards the Redevil boss stage. I know specifically what that was. When you guys had to face that Redevil and you were going up the mountain, there would be times where he would appear with like 20 other of these guys and you somehow had to fight them. Like how? I remember dying like twice to that, and I said to myself, you know what, I'm just rushing up the mountain. I wasn't even all indulge in that nonsense. So yeah, hopefully that's reduced the encounters. But yeah, my major advice for that, just rush towards the end. Don't even face them, and just rush towards the end, and you can face the boss solo by itself without the annoying stupid people around him. Anything else in terms of bosses? Fix an issue where certain bosses fell unnaturally in specific conditions, and fixing issues where certain bosses ran away too frequently under specific conditions. But yeah, other than that, that's great. I think the major one for this one, oh no, there's another good one. Increases the accumulation of the stun gauge on bosses upon successful parries. That's great, because I know there were sometimes I would parry a boss and the stun gauge wouldn't adjust or would even improve that much. So now we get more of a bigger stun gauge for that. But yeah, in terms of the boss and fights and combat, I think the major patch note that we have here is the reduced health and attack for specific enemies and bosses. That's an improved one. That's the one that I want. NPC and NPC dialogue. What the hell is that? What's NPC? Okay, I think I understand what that means. That means NPCs talking to each other? I think so. I'm an idiot, so yeah, I think that's what it means. Fixes the issue where some English audio was not playing. Yeah, that makes sense. Reduces the price of restore items sold by Carl at the Howling Camp from 10 silver to 1 silver. I'm not sure that's supposed to be under dialogue, but yeah, that's a patch. Improves the animal behavior to appear more naturally when near the player. That wasn't annoying, but I can understand why people would get kind of confused or just irritated sometimes when like your dog or whatever pet you had would just spawn from some like Pokemon Bulbasaur leaf attack. And that kind of probably got annoying just to see over and over again. I didn't mind it, but yeah, fixes an issue on that. So not too much in terms of NPC and NPC dialogues. Fix an issue where NPCs would catch each other cheating during the minigame duo. Oh, I remember that. Anytime I saw a guy turn blue, accused him. I accused that guy. The minute I saw that slow motion and he turned blue during the duo minigame, popped his ass. But yeah, moving on. UI fixes and improvements. That's a really good one. Improves the food items to automatically register quick slots upon first acquisition. Sorry. But yeah, that's a pretty good one. Fixes an incurrent issue where the UI failed to remove destinations on the map menu. I didn't really experience that much, but yeah, the UI fix and improvements had a couple of improvements, so that's great. Nothing too specific. Moved the knowledge and notification menu to the others tab, from the others tab to the journal tab, and adjusted the order. Whatever. I didn't really mind that one. Graphics and settings, I won't lie to you, my PC is absolutely rubbish and the game has been fine for me. I haven't had any issues with the graphics at all. Probably for small people who have like more high-end PCs. I'm not one of them. There are a couple of issues that they fixed. Performance, stability, and gameplay. For the PlayStation 5, they fixed an issue where the game would occasionally crash when opening the map menu, so that's good for you guys. Fixed an issue where the game was not launched because of dedicated graphics cards were not recognized in the environment using both integrated and dedicated graphic cards. I'm an idiot, so if I pronounce words wrong, me idiot. That's okay. Again, like I said, most of my experience within the game, I've played the game on this PC. I haven't had any experiences, but for those who probably have had some graphical experiences, they've improved on that end. And localization, they fixed some various localization areas and improved localization quality across all languages. Not too much other than that I can see. Not really too much in terms of either patch notes or other items on the patch notes, which is really that great. I think the main thing that you guys want to know is that they've got you inventory space. That is the main thing. Inventory space have now been added, and they've reduced certain bosses' health and attacks. Those, I think, are the two main things which people were kind of annoyed by. I know that the map and the controls and the UI was also annoying, but I think for those who already have made up their mind on that issue, all the changes that they've added so far probably won't improve that much those people's opinions. But for now, I think the main thing which everybody can agree on, you now have an inventory storage space, and they've reduced their attacks and the damage for some bosses. So yeah, that's great. Health and damage of some bosses. So yeah, that's the patch notes that have been released. Hopefully you guys have been playing and enjoying the game, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.